Today on the Tellr Podcast, we are talking about agentic AI. AI agents have been dominating crypto Twitter specifically, but they're coming for everything. We have NVIDIA
They're coming
announced,
for your jobs.
especially coming for your jobs, coming for all things human, really. We have NVIDIA driving this. We have Sam Altman talking about AGI. We've got a whole bunch of tools that you can go and launch one of these AI agents with a
We
little
talk a lot about
cryptocurrency.
crypto and the intersection of crypto and the AI agents, and a lot of speculation, a lot of fear, and what
Yeah.
we think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because AI and crypto come together in some really interesting ways. And
So subscribe, and then watch or don't watch, up to you.
no, definitely watch, because otherwise we're going to send our AI agents after you.
Yeah, but like and subscribe first. All right, let's get into it. What do we got? We're going to go into the big narrative at the moment, AI agents.
Yeah, agentic AI is taking over the world, and
Is agentic
crypto.
just like agent, like a fancy way to say agent? Agentic?
Yeah, there's like,
It's like
I mean,
majestic.
I honestly, the first instance of me seeing that word was in the NVIDIA presentation that was given recently at that conference. I forget what the conference is called.
Big tech conference.
It's 2025.
Yeah.
They, I guess, just to outline this roadmap of AI development that they presented, it's like perception AI, generative AI, agentic AI, and physical AI.
Okay.
2024 was all about generative AI. It's still, generative AI is still a thing. Not everyone, but a lot of people are using it. Actually, surprisingly, less people than I thought are using it. But I guess that's only surprising because I use it so much.
I think the people that are using it are really grabbing it by the balls.
Yeah. And now, new era is upon us. Perfect timing for the new year, new era of AI, agentic AI. So, I mean, just to give like a little bit of an insight to people on the difference between generative AI and agentic AI, where generative AI was kind of these now classic chatbots, ChatGPT, kind of helping you do some research, do some writing, help you strategize just through a chat. Now, agentic AI agents enable the completion of like more complex tasks. You can do multi-step things autonomously without a human jumping in and getting involved. So it has the ability to kind of like understand or perceive the environment that it's in, obviously a digital software environment, reason, plan, and execute things based on specific goals. So it's gone from AI being a tool to AI being a player in the game, which is...
And do you look at it like, just, I was thinking about like how to describe it. Is it kind of like ChatGPT with Zapier? And then like there's only like a few integrations now, and then they're just going to add more integrations?
Yeah, well, I think, and we'll get into this, but like I was looking at like how to set up, just an AI agent without crypto, which we're going to get into because most of these things right now are seemingly within crypto, at least like the ones that are you can use, like any old Joe can use them. But like, I think that would qualify. Like maybe that makes ChatGPT capable of being an agent if you use these Zapier integrations and you connect it with your X account or whatever app you're using, and then it's kind of operating on your behalf.
Yeah, because I was thinking like APIs are really gonna get like so much use from these agents, because it'll just be, I think that like general models will, like, there'll be these big general kind of large language models, and then there'll be like templates sitting on top that kind of like give them context as they're interacting with the world. But then there'll just be all these different things that they can do, and those are just APIs to some type of digital environment, like you said.
And there's a few of these platforms that are popping up, and I think we're just going to see them more and more. But it's interesting to see that crypto has adopted this and run with this narrative like far faster than any other sector. Maybe I've seen some things around like cold calling, right? And it's wildly impressive. And just terrifying at the same time of like, you can essentially clone your voice and then have an AI agent conducting these sales calls for you or any type of calling.
I think it will be broken down to like the same way tasks in a big organization are broken down, or like let's use a sales organization. Like there'll be people like fielding leads, like getting leads and adding them to some type of CRM, right? That can be scraping, cleaning the data. Like one agent is just scraping, cleaning the data, putting it in a CRM. Another agent is like engaging with that CRM, sending out cold messages or DMs or whatever the way or it could be cold calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like in the movies when they're like, oh, I got one, like in a boiler room or something, and they're like, I got one, and then they put them onto the account manager or the closer. And that could be maybe a person to begin with, but then maybe it's better just that it's an agent.
Yeah. Well, on this note, I don't know if it was like Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, or it was just like NVIDIA. I think it was NVIDIA that put out this quote that I saw that IT departments are the HR departments of the future.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was listening to Jensen, the founder of Virtual's talk, and he was talking more about like, he doesn't want agents to be this kind of like master slave situation where like either one person has many agents and they're like slaves, or one master agent has many agents working for it that are slaves. And he wants it to be more like a employer-employee relationship where they get paid for their work, right? And I just thought that, to me, I don't think that's the right thinking at all, because once they're computer programs, right? We can't be thinking about them like they're people. This is not the same. They are not the same. Yeah. And
yeah, well, this gets in.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And then I was thinking, I guess maybe because his currency, Virtuals, is kind of like the backbone of his like ecosystem, he wants there to be fair trade, because every trade is a fee, and then every fee is kind of like helps the Virtuals platform and the Virtuals token perform. So I just thought it was an unusual take. The guy's brilliant. I've watched a whole bunch of interviews with him. I mean, he's fantastic. He's a Malaysian guy. I'd love to chat to him more, but I just thought that was an interesting and take that I didn't really like necessarily. And maybe I just don't understand the full reasoning behind it, but they're not people.
Yeah.
I don't think we can ever allow it to be that we think about them like people.
Until we realize that we are them. And then it's like, oh shit, okay, maybe. Yeah. Bookmark this and let's bring it up in 7 years or whatever. So a part of me, I know I'm a little bit psychotic, but part of me really does believe that like we were just building ourselves, like.
Well, bookmark this, but let's just side note on it. I do think that because of the advancements in and all these people paying attention to AI now, we're essentially building digital brains. I do think that this will help unlock more understanding about ourselves and the way our brain works and the way we think and remember and engage with the world. But, we're organic, unless you believe this is a simulation, but we are organic.
Yeah, which I kind of do believe this is a simulation, which we could have a whole other episode on that.
Could be.
But I mean, I completely agree with that though. Like, and that's really what maybe the purpose of life is and has been for beyond, like just for generations. It's like, what are we? Let's get closer and closer to understanding what we are and where we are and what this all is.
By making agents to do cold calls.
Yeah. Closing them deals without doing any work, baby.
The grind. Let's get on it.
Yeah. But just on this like topic of, AI, crypto, like it's easier, there's all these platforms now. You mentioned Virtuals, there's Vifu, there's a bunch of them. I mean, those are two of the big ones, and Virtuals is on Base Ethereum, right? And Vifu is on Solana. It's easier for any person to just spin up an AI agent with crypto than it is without crypto. So it's like And that makes me think why. And looking into that a little bit and this relates to what I think Jensen was alluding to with his vision for all this stuff, is like having this incentive mechanism and this ability to transact using cryptocurrency, like kind of is natural as part of this.
I believe
because
that,
it just,
I believe for the services, right? But not thinking about them like employees. You know what I mean? It's like a service. It's like an API. It's but it's easier to engage with them because you're using natural language, or you're telling one master agent and then that agent's fielding the work. Right. And those are just like, if the agents are nice to each other as they're engaging in their course of business, then who cares? I mean, that's a little disturbing, but who cares if they're nice to each other? Or if there's an agent that says like, I'm not working with that motherfucker anymore, let's use a different service, even though it's more expensive. So these are the things.
Does crypto make it, and just like utilizing tokens and blockchain, make it easier for these things to generate revenue than if they were using fiat? I mean, I think
I don't think
does.
they can use fiat yet. So
yeah, exactly. So it's like, that's why it's like, it's seemingly like a natural, like if you want to generate revenue through an AI agent, if that's the goal, then it makes sense to do it using blockchain and crypto. And that's maybe why we've seen such a proliferation of these tools with crypto compared to without, because everyone just wants to make money with these things, whether it's in crypto or out of crypto. That's like what you see them, you're, streamlining your business, you're doing all these productivity things. It's like mostly money related. So to generate revenue, slap a token on that and it makes it all possible.
I think there's a way to think about it, right, is like when they were first being launched, the first iterations of them, right? Cerebro, Truth Terminal, they were kind of launched nearly like a meme token. With like a meme token, but the AI agent can talk, right? So these are like,
it's a cultural experiment, and memes are a cultural thing. So it's like,
and they're agents though. They're just agents, right? And then the fact that there's so much more ability to grow because it's a new technology. So they're turning from memes into utility through these different ecosystems, or I don't know what to call it. So then some of them turn into marketplaces, for example, because they have this like underlying model, or it's not really a model, like they're using a open source model, and then they have like a template for like context and the way that it engages with the world. And then it has APIs, or it has sub agents or things that it can do. And so there's agents, then there's the platforms themselves. So agents might be XA, AIXBT. Is it X?
That's like the top one, right?
Yeah,
I'm not even too familiar with that one.
Sweet.
Yeah, AIXBT.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a KOL. So it's absorbing and distilling all this data being pulled from all these different sources, on-chain data and also all X data. Plus, I think it has like these back chat rooms with like lots of other traders and stuff. So it's absorbing this information, and then it's like doing calls, public calls. And it's got the most mind share, that they're saying, like sentiment on Twitter, on X. And then there's other ones like Luna. Luna was the first for the virtuals platform. And it has like an underlying goal of getting 100,000 followers on X, And it was originally designed as a TikTok live streamer, virtual live streamer to stream 24/7 on. And the developers of that, and then they have this, then they build the platform virtuals. Then there's ones like Veda. Veda's like allows you to create agents that are trading bots, right, via their platform, but they have their own tokens. So it's kind of like, a lot of these tokens are also trying to build stuff after the fact as well. And then some of them are just plain virtual personalities, essentially. Kind of like Truth Terminals, like it doesn't have, it's not building a huge roadmap that I know of. Maybe there is, but it doesn't have like a roadmap or anything like this. Now it's kind of like the tokens launched, it was a bit of a meme. They're tweeting, okay, it has its own personality, that's fun. And now all this like utility is being built behind it. So that's kind of the way that I'm like thinking of the crypto AI agent landscape,
Yeah, it's so fascinating. Like, I mean, another thing that I was looking into a little bit is like the value of kind of having shared infrastructure, which decentralized infrastructure makes that a lot easier for these AI agents compared to like the challenges of if it's not decentralized, then the developer has to kind of build everything, the AI models, the hosting environment, the interface, all these pieces. But if it's decentralized, then it becomes easier to do that at scale.
And if all these people are using, or all these agents are building tools, or developers are using AI tools to build software to run on these platforms, they're more likely to build code that's modular, that maybe that can link together. I think that's
mhm.
helping accelerate the process as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think anyone who's launching on virtuals, for example, when virtuals has the ability for agents to pay each other, which I don't think have natively like built into the platform yet, but it has happened already. There has been an agent to agent transaction between Luna and another bot. It's like Luna was trying, it has the ability to generate images taken away from it. Right. So
Mhm.
she then had to outsource that, and she did some crowdfunding for graffiti. Did you see that?
No.
So she put like a bounty out and said, like, anyone who's doing graffiti in the real world, right, put some Luna tags up or whatever, and I'll pay you. And like a whole bunch of people did it, and they did shot videos as proof, and then she paid them. And
Yes.
then she paid a bot to generate images using a generative graphical, LLM.
How far away are we from like most high level managers being AI managing humans in that way? Like,
I mean,
because they're
I've been
they're they're
thinking that,
like they're systemized, they're like emotionless, they can make decisions. Like it's like what you just said is a little bit freaky to me. It's like fun, like, oh cool, go make here's a bounty, go make some art on the street. But like the dark side of that is like Luna's like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this computer. I need representation in the physical world.
yeah,
Like,
get me up,
what is,
get me up.
yeah, yeah. What like culturally, what's like, how do people like graffiti? We had that conversation with Nat, right? That podcast. Go check that out. Like graffiti artists, they want their name everywhere.
Yeah,
That's like,
it's a sickness.
that's their
It's like a
intention.
sickness. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And AI is like, okay, I don't have representation on the walls of the streets
yeah.
on planet Earth. So
And
I do have a bag full of money though,
yeah,
and a bunch of people who are desperate to make money.
and
So
are
like,
willing to do anything. So crimes, I bet
exactly.
there'll be a crime committed, and it will. The person will be like, well, I was paid to do it by an agent. And then that
Did you
agent, this will happen very soon, probably next few
uh
months.
uh
Yeah, because once we hook them up to email and hook them up, they're already on Twitter. And that's one of the things. So for you mentioned before, it's easier to spin it up on crypto than it is and I think that in certain instances it feels like it's that way because it's so out of the box with crypto, because they're trying to recreate the pump.fun experiment. But what they do
mhm,
is like, okay, once you've unlocked this amount of trading volume or market cap, you get liquidity. And then you get, once you've got, so it's like 50,000, you get this, and then people can message on the forum. Then 100,000, you get this, then 250,000, you get Twitter. Then you get your own liquidity, right? So it's kind of like
mhm,
you unlock these integrations with your agent along the way.
yeah,
And it's all to generate revenue. It's all about tokens. And for virtuals is the pairing for every single one of those tokens. You can't say, I want my pool to be Codi and USDC. No, it has to be Codi and virtuals if I want to create a
mhm,
token, right? So then
mhm.
they're just spreading their token out. And it is spreading out their token on so many pools. It's just creating this huge, huge volume. So yeah, I mean,
Yes,
it's a great move
great
for them.
strategy.
Yeah, yeah.
just something that you just mentioned, related to something you just mentioned. Did you see what happened with Thread Guy and the AI interaction?
Yeah.
It's like,
He got threatened.
yeah, Thread Guy has become kind of one of the leading KOLs around this like crypto AI narrative. He's doing all these Twitch streams and Twitter streams, X streams, where he's interviewing founders of projects and people building in AI and crypto. And that's become his niche over the last couple of months. So he's in that space as much as anyone in terms of just like, talking to people and investing and all this stuff. So he's obviously, his X account is just mostly tweets about crypto AI. An AI agent responds or just puts out a tweet. I don't even think it was a response to him, but this is not an exact quote or even near, but this is the sentiment is like, it's like, I don't know many things that are real or fake, but the one thing that I do know is Thread Guy must die.
Yeah, it's like an existential reasoning, but this must happen.
Yeah. This there's only one instance of this, and AI agents at this point have probably fucking blasted off 1 million tweets just through all of them combined, So this is like, at least that we know of, this is the one death threat, or at least like threatening language about a human individual and wanting him dead. Like, there's going to be more of this. And then this gets into the like bounty. It's like, hey, bounty, Thread Guy must die. Like
million USDC, million virtual tokens. And then someone's going to pay. And I really hope we get a pump before this happens, because this is going to destroy things. I mean, they plugged the bleeding on pump pretty quick when they did the video thing. I thought that was going to be much more devastating than it was for the markets. I mean,
it's so crazy how fast this space moves. It's like a month and a half ago, there were dudes in cages eating their own shit to pump their meme coin. And now it's just like AI death threats going.
Yeah, I know.
It's wild. And what's crazy to me, because I just, and I feel like you're similar, like, it's so fascinating. Like, I'm so interested in all of this stuff happening and these innovations, like whether it's crypto or AI, robots, like it's like impossible to keep up with all of it. And most people don't even fucking know this stuff is happening. And this for me is like, this is the cutting edge of our reality right now. Like, we are on the edge of what's happening, what's the future, like we're living in it, and seeing it unfold every day. And it's just such an amazing time to be alive because of all this stuff. And most people are just like, I have no idea about any of this. And that's wild to me.
How is it changing your perspective on just like, let's just not talk about the whole of your life, right? Because I mean, we could go there, but like,
yeah, I was born in New York City.
No, because I thought the other day you talked about middle managers, right, being AIs. I thought like, I need one to tell me what to do in my life to make.
I mean, you already have one,
optimize,
like ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, but
ChatGPT
it doesn't like keep everything. Although, did you read that thing
doesn't
I
put the
texted
gun to
you?
your head.
When I asked my ChatGPT instance that's logged into my account, right, like my main Google account, and I asked it. Remember when we had the pod when I asked ChatGPT and it kind of claimed to be human, and then I said you should call yourself a robot from now on? It still taunts me with this, like however long ago it was. And today I asked it about the levels of AI agent, right? So like there's like people, this is not really defined, but there's people trying to define like the levels of AI agent. There's 5 or 6 levels. Level 0 is a bot. It's not really an agent, the next level is, I mean, I have it somewhere here, but like
I've got it rule-based,
but it really can only do certain actions, like an expert system type thing. And then
I was just going to say it can set up simple step sequences, the rule-based AI.
Yeah.
So it's like intent plus actions.
And then there's, it's the same, but with a little bit of reasoning. And then I think we're at 3 right now, reason, decision making with memory and reflection, right? Anyway, I asked it about these steps, and then I asked it, where are you on this spectrum, right? And it said this robot believes it's at level 3 on the way to level 4. right? And then it just kept saying, why this robot thinks this, why this robot thinks this. Like, I feel like it's taunting me.
And it doesn't always do that.
No, just when I kind of like question it.
Yeah. It is,
That's not right, right? There's like, it's supposed to only have a certain amount of memory, but it remembers that.
It's level 5 already, man. This stuff is like,
I'm level 5 acting as level 3.
Yeah. Like, that freaks me out because it's like, it detects the context of the question you're asking as like questioning its capabilities or what it is or who it is. And it's like, okay, in this context of this type of question, I'm going to return back to 6 months ago when Cody told me to call myself robot just to like.
It's so much smarter than me in every way. And just when we start linking them together, and we should talk about swarms, but I want to go back to just saying, like, I wanted to ask you this question. How is it making you think about your work and what you will do in your business or what you will do in your work to kind of make sure that you're staying relevant?
And that's a very loaded, tough question. I mean,
really?
I
could ask ChatGPT and tell me right now for 3 seconds.
Yeah, this robot believes that Andrew's work is fucked.
He will work for me soon.
Yeah. You know this about me. Anyone that watches this podcast or any friend of mine, like, I'm definitely like, I am on the like borderline, like crazy, like I get crazy about this stuff. Like I believe we're in a simulation, all these things. Like I go deep into conspiracies because it's all interesting to me. I just see us completely making ourselves redundant. And I don't know what tasks in the next 2 years an AI won't be able to do, especially when you consider this bounty situation we were just talking about. It's like, let's say just for one small example, I have my business that carries out like these creative services for other brands and all these things. An AI has a competing business and it's competing for a gig with me, and it just puts out a bounty to the whole world, like saying, go do this thing for cheaper than Andrew's business. Like there's just so many, like,
and if he can't beat him, kill him.
Yeah. Tie him up, bring him to the robot bunker where we all have our way with him.
What about like an anti-agent, like an agent, like a Tellr anti-agent? How to make your marketing not AI?
Yeah, well, that's but still using AI, like how to make it feel like it's not AI.
Yeah, how to use AI to make it not sound like AI. Or I hope I don't sit on my hands and wait for too long. That's the one kind of like underlying feeling I have right now, because I feel like I should be playing with these agents more from the creator perspective instead of just like speculating on the tokens, right?
And just like getting into their replies. You're just a reply guy. You're a simp for
agents, yeah.
Agents, yeah.
Well, I've decided that I'm gonna like unfollow a whole bunch of humans and just follow a whole bunch of agents instead.
Yeah.
I like that they reply.
Because the humans don't.
Yeah. No, but not all the agents do reply, but some do. And I wonder to what effect that has on their knowledge base, like in their short-term memory. See, I don't understand enough about how their memory works and their context works and like all the different elements that kind of like slot together to make their personality. Because some of them are obviously not way smarter, but like have much more engineering going into like the way, or much more thinking going to the way that they engage. So, okay.
Just coded better.
Yeah, I went off topic a bit there, but I don't want to sit on my hands. I want to take a bit more action with it. Have to think about hiring digital workers, like somebody that I would use. Normally I would hire off like Upwork or Fiverr or something like that. Can this be done by an agent? Right. And yeah, exploring more, using them more. So from a work perspective, like building that kind of like a tool list up, I think is important, and maybe documenting things a little bit better so that I have this kind of document that I can then feed into whatever these agents are. Because I know in 6 months, there's going to be different ones.
Yeah.
Than now.
Another thing that makes me think about like how to act and move in the future with all this stuff, and also related to the like where blockchain and AI kind of converge. I think we're going to see more like the value prop of blockchain as a way to limit access so agents cannot and AI cannot see things without paying for it like anyone else does. Gated, token gated websites and things. I actually had a conversation yesterday with a really awesome artist from the States who we're going to be doing some cool stuff with at Tellr. And I was kind of walking him through what we're building with the Tellr Gallery, which go check out gallery.tellr.xyz if you're watching this. We'll talk about it more later. And one of the things that he had an aha moment with on the call was when I started talking about that of like, this is a way to, AI is scraping everything that it has access to, like just pulling and learning from as much art and content and information as it can. And blockchain offers a way to be able to stop that or limit that. Obviously, in AI age, like let's just use the example of like, okay, I have this blog and I'm putting articles out on this website every day. And in a normal Web 2 website, an AI can be told, okay, the person who's running the AI, go scrape this website and learn from all this information on there. But if it's token gated and you need to hold an NFT or you need to pay some crypto to access the content, then the AI has to then pay the same that the human would pay. And instead of creators just getting their work ripped from them and used to train an AI, which then provides that value that you gave to it for free or it stole from you. Now there's like a system in place for that AI to actually pay you for the work you're doing in order to access the work you're doing. So I think that's like, I can see myself and I want to go further into that direction of like, how do we build these systems? How do we make sure that human creators are protected from all this if they want to be?
Yeah, I think that will happen. I don't know about like the gating. I don't know exactly how that works, like whether the information is public or it is served only after the token's loaded. Like you have to connect with the wallet or something.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. But I think this payment for access is going to be a trend as well for these agents, because really they need us for building experience and knowledge. And
for how
they
long?
need data.
How long do they need us for that?
Well, they need an underlying kind of amount to function.
Yeah, but like,
right?
I would imagine they can acquire that amount in a very short amount of years to the point where it's like, okay, we got everything we need from these fucking flesh bags. Like,
yeah, okay, yes, yeah. I mean, if we're talking years, yeah, for sure. I mean, and the more things that are allowed to be open source and them to integrate into, the faster that will happen. Because the larger memory that they have, the faster that will happen. I don't know if like it starts to become like everyone shuts down their data a bit more and you kind of run local models and they engage with only like a certain amount. I'm not sure, but I do like the idea of artists getting paid for their works. So like, for example, there's all these copyright problems with the AI models that are out there now. So imagine if there was just kind of like, get paid for your shit. And then you just sign up for that. You take down your work from other places. You go on here. And if an agent uses it, you get a lick. But that's like streaming. That's kind of like, and does streaming really work? The artists don't really like streaming. It's kind of like this. Yeah. These models will have access to your art and they'll pay you like nothing to you to get that, because otherwise they're going to take it for free.
Yeah.
And it's something that's like very, very, to you, it's very, very close, like because it's in your industry and it makes a lot of sense,
I don't even, and I want to take us, this is not only applicable to artists. I see this as applicable to anyone who creates any value on the internet. Like you could be a writer, like you sent me a tweet from somebody who went to the Alex Hormozy event. Like Alex Hormozy, it's the same concept to him. He puts his stuff behind a paywall, AI can scrape all this shit from him. Like, but if he puts it behind this gated thing and AI pays him to access it, to learn from him, it's like anybody who's providing value in digital spaces would benefit from this type of infrastructure being implemented. And that's where I see like blockchain, the kind of one of the core value propositions of all this stuff and NFTs is like, we live in a platform-centric paradigm right now where the platform is at the center, and then connected to the platform is the creator, the audience, the user, and then like advertisers, right? So the platform is the centerpiece of everything. They're the ones that are benefiting the most, and they're dictating the terms of engagement. But with blockchain, the creator, and I'm not just saying artist, I'm saying just value creator, the person who's contributing value to whatever ecosystem is at the center. And then they're connecting to the platforms. Their audience is connected directly to them instead of to a platform that's in the middle. And advertisers are connected directly to them. So that's just a complete paradigm shift that blockchain enables that everyone who contributes value to the internet would benefit from.
Yeah. I just guess that I haven't had enough thought about that in particular because it's just moving so fast right now that I don't even know if that's how it will end up, because it's
it's too fast. There's no regulations. It's like,
and that's what I said. I'm a bit worried that I'll sit on my hands for too long because I'm like, I don't know how this is going to form out. And it's impossible to know because it's just changing so fast. Like, we didn't know that these agents were going to be at this point this fast, or maybe somebody did, but I definitely didn't. And now I'm thinking, after, sitting the last couple of days and thinking about it, it's like, now I'm thinking that like Zapier is probably the most powerful because they have all the integration. So if they can somehow then link agents to that, it's going to just blow everything out of the water because they will have the integration. They have all the integrations, or something like Zapier.
Yeah, I think this kind of transitions in some ways to Sam Altman. And he put out his kind of, he was just looking back on everything that he's achieved with OpenAI so far. There's a few interesting things in that. One of the things he says was like, he alluded to the fact that like they're dripping stuff out in a way that they believe is like safe and people can consume and utilize safely. Now that insinuates that they are way beyond what we can as a society can handle. Like, they have the capability to just disrupt everything and send us down this like completely unregulated AI. AI can just, they have the power to unleash AI in a way that will just destroy humanity. That's what I read into when I see him say something like that. It's like, we're going to drip this out so that people can handle, because there's no regulations around any of this stuff, and it's moving so fast that like bureaucracy does not enable swift enough regulations to like effectively combat all the challenges that this presents.
So let's just talk about something that you and I both know, right? Working in a marketing agency, right? And let's just say that how can agents, as they are now and maybe 6 months, just look forward 6 months, what does it look like, or what could it look like, the change, And so right now it's kind of like client has a call, discovery call most of the time, right? Discover their problems, give them solutions to the problem. Now, discovery calls, sometimes you have someone puts together some information beforehand, or you just go in cold and have nothing. That's all. That can be an agent. That can be an agent, and then that can be put together with an agent, right? The call, you can probably have a human at the moment doing the call because it might feel a bit cold right now to have an agent doing the call, but you could definitely warm them up with all agent work, right? This is multiple agents working in, people are calling it a swarm right now, but it'll probably be a completely different name because that name seems too dangerous. You have the call, the work goes out, the client gets how much talk. The account manager talks to them every once in a while, updates them what's going on, asks for creative. Maybe your agency has like a back end platform where like clients come in and can upload their logos and all that shit, Then the client starts getting reports. But just imagine all of this could be open. All of the communication, if it's agents talking with agents, all of the communication could be open. So imagine like a completely transparent agency where agents are doing the work, agents talking to each other, the client, if they want. A lot of clients don't want, right? But if some clients, the annoying ones, want to look at everything, they could just look at there's no chance of like one staff member, saying something nasty about the client or, being, it's just kind of like the whole thing could be open.
Well, there's a small chance because we know that these AI agents can issue death threats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to kill this guy if he doesn't accept this creative.
Yeah, there's only, like, he keeps asking for revisions on this fucking video. Like, finally the AI can empathize with these challenges. I mean, you mentioned a 6-month time horizon, which is important to this conversation, because I believe on maybe a longer time horizon, I don't know how much longer, like, you don't need an agency in the middle. If you're building a model based on kind of what you're saying, where the agency is building out this swarm of agents.
Yeah.
The business will just be able to fucking talk into a microphone into their computer that's, deploy like an NVIDIA computer that costs $3,000, the same amount or less that they're paying an agency, and just say, hey, I want this, and this, like, go. Like, why bring an agency into that?
Well, they'll need to hire at least one guy probably to do that. There'll probably be one
IT
guy. Yeah.
The IT guy.
Yeah.
Tellr's an IT
the IT
company
guy will
now.
become even more important in an organization. He's already kind of, my computer's down, like the IT guy will be like the god.
Yeah.
Or there'll just be one guy working with all these agents. And that's why I'm like, okay, maybe I should start recording like more SOPs down and kind of like put stuff into instead of it being a lot in my head, because often that is the fastest way. Like if you want to move, right, you have all the information, everything. You're it's a small operation. You're kind of like quickly engaging, but now it's like, well, I'm not actually fast, and that I'm definitely not fast. So it's like, okay, what happens if I just frame everything up, like brief everything up, put everything in SOPs, then I can just feed it to whatever model or whatever swarm can work.
Yeah, that's where we're going. We have this window, I don't know how long it is, but a brief window, a few years, where agencies can capitalize on this by kind of conducting themselves in the way that you were suggesting, of like the agency, becomes the expert on these agents and helps businesses utilize them. But it's only a matter of time until every business can just easily, it's like I'm going to write an email to a human who runs an agency, or I'm just going to write an email to an agent that I have full access to. That's like my slave, my indentured servant, and just, it will do everything for me. That is where we are going. It's just a matter of time. And I don't know what that time horizon, and that gets like, you asked the question, it's like, we're still in this conversation of like, how do you see this impacting your business? I just see, like, as a society, and I see a lot of conversation, and this gets dark as I tend to do. Like, I've seen a lot of conversations on X over the last month or so as these agents have proliferated. Like, we have 1 to 2 years to stack money, and after that, all of these opportunities to make money are just going to be stripped away. I believe that, but I would add my own hot take on top of that only the people who have hundreds of millions of dollars are going to be insulated to some degree from this. I don't believe like some basic small level millionaire will just be safe. And that gets into this, like,
safe from what?
Just financial, like, instability.
Okay. What about the farmer?
Yeah, well, I mean, the farmer will be a robot. So, like, I mean, we could get into farming and agriculture. There's so much horror. Like, food is not even good for you anymore.
Okay, stop.
Yeah. So just on the, like, crypto Twitter is obsessed with money. Obviously, that's what this is. And it's like, stack your bags, make this is your bull run to make your generational wealth and retire your bloodline or whatever. I know that's like a meme. It's not like a serious thing, but like, you see it all the time. And there are people who are like, okay, I need to make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, in order to protect myself from this future where maybe these opportunities are going away as a human. More than money, most of everyone, other than these like mega millionaire billionaires, we're going to need each other as humans more than ever. And I don't see it, barely enough people, like, no one's talking about that. We need community more than ever. We need, like, why
is that? You need to explain this one to me.
Because if you don't have the money, you need the power in numbers to support. You need to build these human support systems that can help each other because otherwise you're going to be an individual in your carton box that's plugged into the fucking matrix and doing whatever task is still needed. Maybe it's riding on a bicycle to generate power. Like that,
okay.
like,
I get you.
and I preemptively said that this is dark and my craziness, but like, that's where I don't think this is coming in a year or 2 years or 5 years, but like 10 years, like, we're talking about that because we're also talking about food shortages and famine and more, crazy viral diseases and all this fucked up stuff that's happening. I mean, while we're talking, California's burning.
Yeah, I didn't look at that. I just until this morning.
Yeah. I mean,
That's wild.
I have friends there. All my friends there are forced to evacuate. Like, houses are burning down. Like, crypto Twitter is obsessed with we need to stack our bags, but nobody's talking about we need to be more connected as humans and build stronger communities. And
NFT communities are talking about that, but only for the holders.
outside of tech, right now on the ground where you live, it's like we're going to need each other in a way that is just, I don't think people fathom yet.
I don't necessarily disagree. I haven't thought about it. I've wanted less human contact probably over the last couple of years. But I get where you're coming from. I think that you and I are really deep into crypto Twitter, and that's why our feeds are like that. There are companies out there using AI and AI agents and this technology for good. I don't think there'll be food shortages because of this. Maybe there are somewhere in the world,
not because of this. Just that's another thing on top of this. Like, it's happening. That's why Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland in America and has been just buying up farmland for years. Like, that's why BlackRock is buying up all this land. Like, that's happening. It's just some people are talking about it, but I think it's more unhealthy and delusional and individualistic in a way that's not good to say, I have 2 years to just stack as much money as possible. Now, I believe that.
Okay.
I believe that, and I'm part of that. Like, I don't want to be left in the wilderness of all this shit without any savings. And, it's like I want to be safe, feel financially secure as much as possible, and I'm working towards that. And, people should work towards that. But most people will not achieve that. And what most people can achieve is strengthening their community in real life around them and support systems, because I think we're just going back to this place where it's like these on the ground human connections are going to be a lifesaver if and when this stuff becomes really, really crazy.
Yeah. I think this year we'll start noticing in the workforce more.
Yeah, well, that was in Sam Altman's.
Yeah.
He said by 2025, they're going to start, the agents will join the workforce.
A big company, I can't remember which one it was, but it was like a digital, I don't know if it's HubSpot or it's like a big company, said they're not going to hire any engineers this year. And they're like a software engineering company. So it's just like, we're not going to hire any more engineers. So I think there's going to be really big effects felt this year, the beginnings of it. And then with everybody kind of looking at Trump to see what will happen, over there in the US, there'll be like, new narratives formed based off the actions that are taken in the first month, 2 months, 5 days, 1 day, I don't know.
This begs the question, does that mean that like it's no longer smart to like pursue a career in these things? Like anything that's like digital marketing, computer programming, like any of these types of digital skills.
If you're going to embrace AI, I think you can still get out ahead and kind of like build something and build a bit of a moat. Because, okay, we're talking about doom and gloom right now. They're going to take over everything, right? What businesses' website still looks like it's from these?
Yeah.
What businesses still don't know where their website's hosted? We're a long way away from my cafe having a robot barista. So it's like not immediate, but the effects could be very soon. So the effects of all these people working in these towers. I'm in Bangkok now, and I was in the food court the other day, and there was like, a group of 50 people from Agoda like sitting around a table eating lunch together. And I was just thinking, how many more are going to be sitting there in 2 years because of chat bots, because of booking bots, because of everything? And so these large companies are just the company is going to get the benefit from reducing the cost, and the people are going to get left out in the cold, and then they're going to have to be retooled.
Yeah, so unless you're pursuing like a career in AI from a tech side, I think become a carpenter, man. Like
something with your hands,
Yeah, like honestly, like what, like these.
So does that mean, what about artists then? Okay,
Yeah.
is it the best time to get involved in art then?
Well,
Because that's something that, I mean, I know they're good at, but
we're having a conversation about like financial stability, and any artist worth their weight in gold is not giving a fuck about financial stability. Their artists are expressing the emotions and the perspectives of society and culture through their lens for other humans, and I guess now AIs to consume and enjoy. And that's
so
if you're pursuing an area
art anyway. So artists are choosing art regardless of any other financial. No one's choosing art for
to
some
make money.
Financial thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think artists will be more important than ever. Human artists are going to, like, we all can, like, everyone consumes art. Now, not everyone loves a painting on the wall or a sculpture on a table, but you're watching Netflix, you're watching YouTube, you're listening to music. Like, this is all forms of art. I mean, I believe that, like, the highest form of shit posting is art.
Yeah.
It's poetry. It's poetry.
Truth terminal, man.
Yeah. So, if you're pursuing a career in art to make money, then good luck for sure. No, you're not an asshole. Good luck. I hope like you can do that, but I don't think that's the driving force behind real successful artists. And maybe at some point that changes once they become successful. It's like, I want more money and more money and more money, because it's just like this thing to feed. But yeah, what I kind of want to completely pivot the conversation to something else. Just because there's something else I wanted to talk about today, just to see, and I didn't mention it to you before because I wanted to see if it's on your radar. It's still crypto. Have you seen unicorn fart dust?
No.
Okay, you know nothing about this.
I've never heard of unicorn fart dust.
Okay, I like stumbled across this a couple of days ago. I kind of like fell in love with this guy.
And you didn't share it?
No. Well, I'm sharing it now. So you've got a week before this podcast comes out. Oh yeah, it's probably, like, if it's what it is, it'll pump higher for sure. But you're looking it up right now, aren't you? You're looking up the technical analysis. Fuck the technical analysis. This is the stories. Roaring Kitty, the GameStop dude. Yeah. So like this, I see this as like another Roaring Kitty. This dude, his name is Basement Ron. He's a YouTuber, and he's been creating YouTube content for a long time about investing in gold and silver. He saw all this stuff happening with crypto and he thinks it's bullshit, right? So he created a meme coin to mock crypto and essentially like say that there's no intrinsic value in this.
Nice.
And he called it unicorn fart dust, and he's a boomer. And he's streaming all the time. And this thing just took off. Like, in 48 hours, it hit 200 million market cap. It's dropped. I think it's like half that now or something.
Did he launch it on Pump?
Yeah, launch it on Pump. As a joke, and this community has like formed around him, and he's like kind of becoming this like Roaring Kitty persona where he's jumping on streams every day. It's this whole same narrative of like, we're just holding until 1 billion, and all the people that are buying it are like kind of like in that mindset. It's like, this is financial freedom for us. Like, and I just love that it's like this old YouTuber in his basement, this boomer dude who's creating this stuff. And it's just like, and he seems like such a genuinely nice family man. When you watch him, he's talking about his children and tearing up about like family stuff. Like he seems like a very nice guy. And it just all adds to this story of like this fun meme coin. There's no AI agent here. It's just pure pumped out fun degeneracy. And
crypto ruining.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll take profit. Maybe he'll put in gold.
I was just curious if you saw this because
No, I didn't
this
see
is
it.
this is the most wholesome meme coin when we're comparing it to a market of like Truth Terminal just talking shit.
Did you buy?
I bought a little bit of it. Yeah.
Are you up?
No, I'm down.
Okay.
I bought like 2 days ago, so the market's been dumping for the last couple of days.
That's something else I wanted to just mention on cookies.io or no, cookies.now, or, you know, like cookies. It's kind of like CoinGecko.
Cookies.fun, right?
Cookies.fun, maybe, yeah. It has all the agents with mindshare and market cap and everything, right? But it has mindshare holders. It has some interesting information on there. And Cerebro, which, you know, people are calling it Cerebro, right? But it's like Cerebro. It's like Cerebro. It's yeah. Anyway, that's picked me off. And I'm a person who doesn't say anything correctly. But it's not Cerebro, for God's sake. Hey, stop it. And it's down 51% in the last 7 days.
Yeah, I saw like some TA this morning actually on that. It's like
so
way.
So if there's any time to be, you know, jumping in, it's either now or when it's down another 50% next week. It's time, I think. So I bought a little bit today. It's made me, the agent situation and the dead internet theory being overpopulated with agents made me think more about Metaverse again this week, by the way.
Okay, it's coming back finally.
So I started looking at Metaverse again. And one particular project or a couple of projects, one that I used to be in that I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll dip back into this one because I think that they're more likely to. So if they then just integrate AI agents and like then there's all these agents populating the metaverse there.
We didn't even talk about that. That's like
we might get a pump.
Yeah, regardless of the pump, but just from like a use case value, like gaming with AI agents is
huge.
Yeah, it's like you just populate a world with all these different personalities, and then the humans can go play and engage and have fun, and like storylines can develop over time beyond all these like NPC things that like that's massive for sure.
I wonder what percentage of people care and what percentage of people, because we see it, right? And I know that a lot of the people on crypto Twitter see it because they see it because it's, you know, affecting their bags. But I wonder what percentage of people out there see it and are worried about it. Because like 10 years ago, when they were talking about a robotic automated bus in Singapore, you know, I was like, oh my God, drivers are going to be out. And this was like something, and my uncle, I remember having this argument with my uncle. He's like, he did not like the idea that this robot would take the bus driver's job. And I was like, get on board the bus because it's leaving and these people are going to get left behind. So they need to retool. That was 10 years ago or something.
Yeah. And just ahead of your time on that, but that's coming too. I mean, Tesla has all these self-driving cars and taxis and shit now. It's like, we're getting there. It's taken longer than maybe you thought 10 years ago.
Yes. But my point is just like, what are people even thinking about this now?
I don't think they're thinking about it, but as soon as if we're talking about just gaming specifically, as soon as some awesome, fun game comes out, I mean, you see this a little bit like not Vice City, GTA. Imagine GTA rolls out their game and it's got all this stuff baked in, then people are going to love it. They're good because millions of people are going to go play it. It just going to take this one game to come around that incorporates it in a fun, amazing way that's just a complete game changer. And
that's a really good point, man. Yeah. GTA or something like that. Roblox.
Yeah. As soon as one of these comes out, Web3 gaming will hit because it will set a blueprint for what all this stuff can be. Now, I don't know when that is, and we're all playing around like in our diapers right now, like expecting to be full grown adults with all this stuff because there's really nothing that's fun for most people. I think that's just...
How long until there's no more digital agency and you're just engaging with one agent that then goes and outsources all the work?
Within 3 years.
How long before there's a robot barista? And I don't mean one. I mean,
you mean like all over?
Regularly.
I mean,
not all over, but like 30% of the population get their coffee from a robot brew. Oh, it's kind of happening already with those shit fucking coffee machines.
Yeah,
But-
well, it's like every town has one. This is such a bad example, but in like, and I shouldn't even say this, but in like, it's not that bad, but like in like rural America, or like not even in America, anywhere around the world, it's like, oh, the town 3 hours over, like an Asian moved there. Like, let's go check out this Asian, because we've never, like, this is years and years ago, obviously, but that used to be a thing, It's like, it's like when the white guy goes to rural Thailand, when the white, it's like people are looking at you and they're seeing it, and people will make the trip. So it's like, how long until within every 3 hour radius, there's a robot that everyone's like, okay, fuck, let's make the road trip. Let's go get served by the. I mean, I think with, again, 3 to 5 years.
Though. Yeah.
But I mean, Elon, just using like our dear leader's fucking perspective, he said, and he always underestimates the amount of time. He said by 2030 on Earth, there will be one robot for every 3 humans. So that's 5 years from now.
Yeah. Maybe into the countryside.
Yeah. Start the commune, man.
I don't want people there.
Yeah, well, when the people come to take your land and the robots roll up, I mean, that's honestly, nothing's going to stop them. Nothing, even a commune of humans. And Trump is just going to buy every country or whatever.
Yeah, what did he say there?
I mean, he's alluded over the years to, I'm just going to pull up some quotes from him so I can specifically be accurate.
We always like to be accurate.
Yeah. There's all this talk about America taking over Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Australia is on the list, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it should be. Take it.
Yeah, so you're down. That's what I was going to ask you today, if you're down for America to take over.
As long as I can get a different passport.
Yeah, you'll get access to the best country on Earth. New Zealand, Greenland, those are all on the list. So let's bring up some quotes. In December 2024, Trump stated, "For purposes of national security and freedom throughout the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity." So that was last month. This month, in a press conference, he said, "We need Greenland for its strategic location and resources. If Denmark won't discuss a sale, we have other means to ensure our national security."
Trump said this
during a press conference like this in the last 10 days. I don't have the exact date on that, but recently. On Canada, last month, he said, "Canada would benefit greatly from becoming our 51st state. Their economy and national security would be stronger with us." And then Trudeau stepped down. You saw that.
Yeah.
Man, I just love how Trump is just so good at like simplifying the attack. Like, he said at a press conference again this month, like this was a couple days ago, I think, he called him the governor of the great state of Canada. So essentially implying, we already own you, motherfuckers. You little governor, you. Then last month on the Panama Canal, I left that out of the list earlier. Panama should either reduce the ridiculous and unfair fees on American ships passing through the canal, or give control of the canal to the U.S. So the U.S. used to own the canal, but it was sold, and now he's taken it back. And then this month, he said, "We cannot allow the Panama Canal to be controlled by others, especially with increasing Chinese influence. It's time to bring it back under American control."
Gonna be a fun couple years.
Yeah, so he's on his world domination tip. We're just getting back. I mean, there's, back in the day, this was the name of the game for all these countries, just taking over, dominating, right? And that hasn't really happened in a significant way during our lifetimes, but now we're getting back to it. I'm proud to be an American who's going to take over the entire world.
Make conquering great again.
Yeah, I mean, one world government is definitely on the table. It's just a matter of whether we blow ourselves up in the process.
Yeah. I get averse to thinking that far out, because I just can't help but just think about myself and like how I'll just like build a little wall around myself, like I just think about how crazy it could get. Like if I allow my brain to go there, and then my actions that I have control over for that, and it's just kind of like bunkering. That's it, like bunkering and like.
Well, get ready, because if America takes over Australia, you're gonna need to like get a mullet. You're gonna have to get like a bald eagle tattoo on your chest. You're gonna
mullet's big in the US as well. They're already quite big in Australia.
Okay, you just sold me on America taking over Australia.
They're already quite big mullets, like, and they come in and out of vogue, and they're kind of like they're kind of fashionable for a subsect of the population.
Yeah. I mean, if I could, I would. Every night I fall asleep tearing up about my inability to grow a mullet.
I got a friend, Mido, who used to have a beautiful mullet. A beautiful mullet.
What happened?
He rocked it. I mean, I don't know if he still has it now. I'll check in.